Before I get into it guys, I'm pleased to announce that channel memberships are now live. For $2.99 a month, you can help to support the channel and get members exclusive content. You also get custom badges, emojis, polls, live chat features and more. All you've got to do is click the join button below. It's an alternative to joining Patreon. Hello my dear friends and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. In today's video we're going to be talking about Bo-Katan in the Bad Batch and more. So without much further ado and without any more jibber jabber, let's dive straight into it. It appears as though a new line of Bad Batch action figures has leaked the fact that Bo-Katan is going to appear in the show. Back in November it was reported by Cinelinx that Bo-Katan was going to feature in the series, and this was followed by an action figure leak for a Bo-Katan figure with the codename Cookies Macaroon. As many of you are aware, Cookies was the codename for the Bad Batch during early production. Now though, Yakface have confirmed these rumours, and in their most recent Instagram post they showed leaked pictures for the upcoming Mission Fleet figures for the Bad Batch, the Clone Wars and the Mandalorian. Amongst these figures we see Bo-Katan, and while some fans thought that this figure was either for the Mandalorian or the Clone Wars, it's now been confirmed that this figure is indeed for the Bad Batch. It would make sense for Bo-Katan to be involved in the show. Not only has she made appearances in the Clone Wars and Rebels, but her most recent appearance in live action in the Mandalorian has certainly led to a huge surge of popularity. And if we're being honest guys, Lucasfilm would be very smart to capitalize on that. Additionally, the animated shows provide an excellent opportunity to dig a little bit deeper into certain character stories. Bo-Katan fits the bill of someone who could easily get more development and adventures. The stretch of time between the Clone Wars and Rebels has not been touched upon for Bo-Katan, and seeing as the Mandalorian is set years after both of those, it certainly is the only way to dive into that part of Bo-Katan's life. Now if Bo-Katan is returning in the Bad Batch, then it strongly hints that we could see Gar Saxon possibly overthrowing Bo-Katan for the Imperial occupation of Mandalore. And as an add-on to this, why not include Moff Gideon to give a backstory to his rivalry with Bo-Katan? Even though he doesn't get the Darksaber from her until much later in the timeline, I would love to see how Gideon became a Moff and also his whereabouts at this point in the timeline. We just have to wait and see what the Bad Batch has in store for Bo-Katan. Interestingly enough, a couple of months ago Katie Sackhoff appeared on Star Wars Explain's livestream where she was reluctant to answer questions about the Bad Batch, and this heavily implied that she had something to hide, most likely the fact that her character is going to appear in the Bad Batch. So let me know what you guys think of this. Do you want to see Bo-Katan in the Bad Batch? Why so or why not? And so now my dear Mandalorians, we're going to move on and look at the voice actress for Omega, Michelle Ang. She recently spoke to StarWars.com on what inspires her performance, how she connects with the mysterious young clone and more. The article states the following: there's a lot of Michelle Ang in Omega, the newest member of Clone Force 99 on Star Wars The Bad Batch. The actor was invited to use her native accent, a homage to fellow Kiwi actor Temuera Morrison, the man who originated the role of Jango Fett and the clone soldiers in the prequels. But Michelle Ang also imbues the character with the childlike wonder that she sees in her 4-year-old son. So more specifically, Michelle Ang speaks about Omega's journey and how she got the role. In her own words, she says, "Obviously when I auditioned for the role, I didn't know that it was to be part of Star Wars, but she was immediately struck by Omega's personality. She says the character had this real innocence, but also the core of someone who was strong in her internal compass and had morality. What resonated was this push and pull for someone who's experienced nothing and yet wants to stand for everything." In production, Ang notes that she rarely got to see the finished animation that she was voicing, which she admits made watching the show on Disney Plus even more exciting. In her own words again, she says, "I occasionally get to see the work in progress, but that was not the case here, so the finished product is really riveting." And while Ang says that she tries not to think too much about how the work will be perceived, she's been heartened to see fan reactions to the series. And look guys, apart from a minority of fans, Omega has already cemented herself as a fan favourite. She truly encompasses childlike innocence and yet is pretty badass when she needs to be. I definitely enjoyed watching her journey so far, and it was really awesome to hear what Michelle Ang had to say about her character. And so finally my dear friends, we're going to be looking at the 10 ways that the upcoming Disney Plus series can improve the sequel era. Whether we like it or not, a lot of the shows are leading to the sequel era, but I feel as though with the Mandoverse specifically, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau want to improve the setup for the sequels. sequels. So the first thing that they can do is give Ahsoka a more pivotal role. More specifically, Ahsoka could team up with the rebuilt Jedi Order. After Return of the Jedi set up Luke to rebuild the Jedi Order, The Force Awakens jumped into a future where the New Order had been torn down. Although Ahsoka is no longer a Jedi, she still is in touch with other ones, as seen in her interactions with Grogu. In the upcoming spin-off, she could team up with remaining Jedi and help to rebuild the Order. The next one is that The Mandalorian Season 3 could explore Luke's Jedi Academy. In the Season 2 finale of The Mandalorian, Grogu was taken by Luke to be trained as a Jedi. The third season of Mando can either explore Grogu's Jedi training as a B-plot, or focus on Mando's newfound ties to Bo-Katan's quest to reclaim Mandalore. The next one is in relation to the Lando Calrissian series. The Lando series could better explain his role in the Rise of Skywalker. As I've said in the past, guys, it's not been confirmed if Lando is going to revolve around an older Lando or a younger one played by Donald Glover, but it seems likely it could cover a long period of time, with both versions potentially showing up. In The Rise of Skywalker, the heroes bump into Lando on Pasaana, and he admits that he was there looking for the Sith dagger with Luke, but that was 30 years earlier. The Lando series can expand on what Lando got up to between the original trilogy and the sequels. Hopefully, he wasn't just hanging out on Pasaana for 3 decades. The next one is again in relation to Ahsoka. Ahsoka's Thrawn storyline could set up the stage for the rise of the First Order. When Ahsoka confronted Morgan Elsbeth in The Mandalorian, she sought out the location of Grand Admiral Thrawn, who seemingly has become a big bad of the Mandoverse. In the expanded universe, which is now called Legends, Thrawn was characterized as a cold, calculating strategist who was crucial to keeping the Empire going beyond the Emperor's death. He could be key to the rise of the First Order in the new canon. The next one is in relation to the Book of Boba Fett. The show could flesh out Han Solo's return to piracy. Since Boba Fett has scores to settle with iconic characters ranging from Mace Windu to Han Solo, the Book of Boba Fett is poised to be a revenge thriller. In exploring this storyline, it can also explain why Han Solo returned to piracy after leaving it behind to join the Rebel Alliance. Like so many other plot points, The Force Awakens skips over this. And finally, guys, The Mandalorian Season 3 could explain how Palpatine returned. I've explored this many times in the past, especially with the Snoke-looking clones that we saw in The Mandalorian Season 2, but The Mandalorian Season 3 could give us a darker backstory to how it happened. But I turn it over to you guys. What do you think we can expect from upcoming shows, and what did you make of today's news? If you guys enjoyed it, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, to all of that good stuff down below, and I will see you in the next one. I'm Star Wars Meg, wishing you all a phenomenal rest of the day, no matter where you dwell in the galaxy. Have a good one.